Hey guys, how's it going? We are back, and today I'm here with a very important video. If you didn't know, today, the 6th of December, the draw for the group stage of the 2014 FIFA World Cup hosted in Brazil was made. It was made at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Convert that to whatever time you are. I'm in Pacific, so I know that's what time they were doing it in my time zone. Funnily enough, they actually said they were going to start the draw at 8, but instead they started their whole presentation dance choreography thing at 8, and the draw didn't actually get underway until about 9, which was a bit annoying. But anyways, let's jump right into this. I feel like I need to clarify, if you don't know who I am, you're thinking, okay, why do I need to believe what this guy's saying? He doesn't have any credentials. Well, if you go look at my previous predicting series about the Champions League, the 2012-2013 Champions League, I predicted every matchup in the knockout stages correctly except for one. So I feel like that's a pretty good record. I'm not trying to boast about it. I'm just trying to tell you that I'm not just some ignorant American, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, let's hop right into it with Group A, the group that is... it's an interesting group. Let's have a look. And as you can see, the group's teams are Brazil, Croatia, Mexico, and Cameroon. So we've got one team from South America, one team from North America, one team from Africa, and one team from Europe. Anyways, how the format of this is going to work, I'm going to run through all my predictions in the matches, and then I'm just going to give you the predicted final group. And if you didn't know how the FIFA World Cup works, the top two teams from every group will move on into the knockout stage, where they will play another team from another group, one of the top two. The top team from one group will play the second place team from another group. Now that I've clarified all that, let's run through the matches that I think will occur in Group A. Anyways, the first match that will be happening on opening day is Brazil against Croatia. I'm expecting a 3-1 win for Brazil. Obviously, they're going to have a high tempo coming out on their home ground. First match of the World Cup in this tournament in Brazil. Obviously, it's going to be a difficult match for Croatia, adapting to the climate and stuff. But Croatia aren't a pushover. I think they're going to get a goal back. But in the end, Brazil are probably going to overpower them. Mexico 2-2 Cameroon. Mexico obviously not in the best of form recently. They squeaked into the World Cup, had to go through a playoff, and really didn't deserve it considering the match was completely out of their hand. If Panama had beaten USA, which was going to happen until the 94th minute, the Mexico wouldn't even be here. Really, without the USA's antics, Mexico wouldn't be at the World Cup. Brazil 2-0 over Mexico. As I said, Mexico not in the greatest form. Brazil probably still running off a sort of high. They're really, in my opinion, expected to dominate this group. Well, for Cameroon 1-1 Croatia, obviously climate will be affecting people still. Cameroon 1, Brazil 4, maybe the first sort of blowout of the tournament. Cameroon obviously don't have the best defense in the world. They are known for their attacking power, but not defensively. So maybe they'll pull one back, who knows. And Croatia 2-1 Mexico. Croatia, in my opinion, are a far better side than Mexico, so I expect them to at least pick up this one win in the group. And that will leave the predicted final group at Brazil topping with 9 points and Croatia going through second on 4 points, with Cameroon on 2 and Mexico on 1 getting eliminated from the tournament. Now let's move on to Group B. This is a very interesting group, and I have some very controversial opinions about it. Spain, Netherlands, Chile, Australia. Obviously Spain, the current world champions, Netherlands, the current world runner-ups. And that's the first match of this group. And I predict a Netherlands win 2-1. I think Spain, much like in 2010 when they lost 1-0 to Switzerland, are going to be caught out. They're not going to be ready. Maybe they'll bust their butts afterwards, but I don't see Spain winning this opening game, especially considering the high average age of their squad and how well Netherlands have done recently. So I'm going to say a 2-1 win for the Netherlands. Chile, however you pronounce it. I'm an ignorant American. My history teacher has not told me how to say this. Chile, I'm expecting a 3-2 against Australia. Australia, in my opinion, aren't really a great team. I understand that in Asia they may be a very good team, but on the world stage they're not necessarily. Obviously, we saw them lost the opening game in the 2010 World Cup 4-0 to Germany, so... Obviously, Chile aren't the greatest, let me take that back. Chile aren't on the same level as Germany, but they are on somewhat home soil. They're playing in South America, so I see a 3-2 win for Chile. Then I'm expecting Spain to kick it into gear and win 3-1 over them, the Chileans that is. I can't speak. Australia to fall 4-0 to the Netherlands and then 3-0 to Spain. As I said, Australia are probably the whipping boys of this group, and the Netherlands to triumph 2-1 over Chile. Which will leave the predicted final group at Netherlands going through top with 9 points, Spain going through second with 6 points, and Chile and Australia getting kicked out of the tournament with 3 points and no points respectively. Now in Group C, we have a pretty weak group, it's got to be said. Obviously, Colombia are up and rising. They have players like Falcao, Moutinho, Rodriguez, etc. But I do expect them to win this group. I do expect them to get 9 points, as you can see. But let's run through the matches real quick. Colombia 1-0 Greece. There won't be a lot of goals in this game. Greece's defense is too good. And honestly, if they didn't have Mitroglou, their offense would be the worst offense possibly in Europe. Côte d'Ivoire going 2-1 winners against Japan. Japan have struggled recently in World Cups. I don't see them getting a whole lot of glory in this group. And then a 2-1 win for Colombia over the Côte d'Ivoire. As I said, Colombia, in my opinion, expected to dominate this group. Japan 1-1 with Greece. There we see Greece's lack of offense and abundance of defensive power. Japan losing 3-1 against Colombia, and then Greece going 1-1 with the Côte d'Ivoire. And that leaves Colombia with 9 points going through as first place team, Côte d'Ivoire going through as the second place team, and Greece and Japan being eliminated on 2 and 1 points. Now let's go to Group D. Group D is a very interesting group because we have 3 teams that have previously won the World Cup and 1 team that, in my opinion, just doesn't need to be here. Now, as someone who lives in the CONCACAF region, I understand that Costa Rica are a very good team here, but on the world stage, they are not. In the 2006 World Cup, Costa Rica played Germany in the opening game of the tournament. And I don't need to say the score because it's embarrassing. It really is. But maybe you'll see the score somewhere down here. Hint, 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 hint. The opening game of this group is Uruguay against Costa Rica. I expect Uruguay to run away with it 5-1. You've got Luis Suarez, Edison Cavani. It's just too hot to handle for the Costa Ricans. And then I expect England to fall against Italy 2-1. That brilliant Italian defense coming through once again. Uruguay beat England 3-1. I mean, honestly, England in this, as you can see on the right side of the screen, I don't expect them to go through from this group. Then Italy beating Costa Rica 4-0, and then a dramatic tie between Italy and Uruguay 2-2, and then Costa Rica losing to England 4-1, leaving the predicted final group on Uruguay going through top with 7 points on goal difference, Italy going second at 7 points, England getting knocked out of the tournament on 3, and Costa Rica leaving the tournament with just having the experience of coming on 0. Group E is really not the greatest group if you look at it initially, but once you look at it a second time, you realize it is actually quite an interesting group because you have Switzerland, who have players like Xherdan Shaqiri, the man born in Kosovo. Ooh, I think it's a comment flack for that, I bet. But and you have France, who have won the World Cup previously, but also were embarrassed in 2010 and haven't been the greatest lately either. But let's run through my match predictions. I'm going to say Switzerland starting slow, trying to feel their way into the tournament with a 2-2 draw against Ecuador. France coming out strong and hard against Honduras because, honestly, Honduras aren't the greatest side in the world, and I think France, even in their poor form recently, could probably churn out a win. Then a 2-2 draw between France, obviously, with players like Granit Xhaka, Xherdan Shaqiri. Switzerland can definitely hold their own. As you saw, they topped that interesting qualifying group which featured Norway, I believe Serbia was in there, yada yada. And then Honduras losing to Ecuador 2-1. Switzerland beating Honduras 2-0 and a 1-1 draw between Ecuador and France. Maybe France stumbling a little bit at the last. And then the predicted final group leaves 3 teams on 5 points, but going through on goal difference are Switzerland and France, and Ecuador and Honduras leave the tournament early. Group F is an interesting one again. Argentina, pretty much everybody expects them to dominate this group. They have Bosnia-Herzegovina, Iran, and Nigeria. And I abbreviated to BOSHER because I didn't have enough space on the screen to write Bosnia-Herzegovina. But my predictions are Argentina 4-2 Bosnia-Herzegovina. Obviously, players like Di Maria, Messi. I'm going to stop there. There's too many. No more attacking options. They'll probably get the win here. Iran 2-2 with Nigeria, two teams that haven't been in the World Cup for a little bit now. Argentina 5-1 over Iran. Honestly, in my opinion, Iran don't even deserve to be at the tournament. Their qualifying campaign, there was a lot of luck, and I think it might run out for them. All credit to them. They did get here, and that's a massive achievement for them, but I don't know if they're going to get anything out of it. Nigeria losing 3-1 to Bosnia-Herzegovina, Nigeria losing 3-0 to Argentina, and Bosnia-Herzegovina triumphing 2-1 over Iran, leaving the predicted final group fairly predictable, with Argentina going through unbeaten on 9 points, Bosnia-Herzegovina going through on 6, Iran and Nigeria being eliminated on 1 point each. Now let's have a look at the group of death with my favorite team in the world, Germany, Deutschland. And this definitely is the group of death, with teams such as Germany, Portugal, Ghana, and the USA. Really, Germany are probably the favorites for this group, but other than that, it's pretty much anybody's game. We've seen that the USA can hold their own under Jurgen Klinsmann. Beating Italy at home is something that not even Germany can do. They beat Germany in a friendly, albeit it was like Germany's C team pretty much. But, these do have factors, and obviously there's huge history between the USA and Ghana, huge history between Germany and Portugal, especially recent history, such as the Euro 2012, where Mario Gomez scored that brilliant header to give Germany the win. Maybe we'll see something similar. But let's kick it off with the predictions. I'm going to say Germany triumph 2-1 over Portugal in the opening game of this group. Ghana lose 2-1 against the USA. I think USA are just hungry for blood in this one, and Jurgen Klinsmann is a brilliant manager. I think he'll be able to do that. Germany triumphing over Ghana just as they did in the 2010 World Cup, but this time by a different scoreline, being 2-1. USA losing 3-1 to Portugal, USA losing 3-1 to Germany, and then Portugal going 2-2 with Ghana, leaving the predicted final group at Germany going through top on 9 points, Portugal going through on second on 4 points, and USA barely they were so close, but they didn't make it. They only got 3 points against Ghana. And Ghana, on the other hand, go home with a 1 point. Obviously, this group has a lot of population history, like citizens. There's a lot of German citizens in the USA. There's a lot of US citizens in Germany with their military bases and whatnot. So it's a lot. There'll be a lot of family rivalries in this group, I imagine. Obviously, there's some between Jerome Boateng and Kevin Prince Boateng. Jerome Boateng obviously playing for Germany and Kevin Prince Boateng playing for Ghana. But we don't need to talk about this. Everybody knows that. Group H is a group that I'm actually very enticed by. Belgium, some of the dark horses of the tournament, even though they're not really dark horses anymore. Everybody's seen them playing well for so long now. Algeria, Russia, and South Korea. Obviously, Russia getting the better of Portugal in their qualifying group. Russia did go top while Portugal was second. And South Korea, the Asian giants, I guess you could call them. In my opinion, they are the best team from that region. Belgium will defeat Algeria 3-1 in the opening game, I predict. Russia will go 2-2 with South Korea. Belgium will go 2-2 with Russia. Maybe a couple draws for Russia. Actually, 3 draws for Russia, as you can see, last game being a 1-1 with Algeria, in my opinion. South Korea going 1-1 with Algeria as well, and then South Korea losing 2-1 to Belgium, meaning the final predicted group will see Belgium go through on top seed, meaning they will play the second seed from Group G, and maybe we'll see a deep run from Belgium, who knows? And then Russia going through on 3 points, and South Korea and Algeria going home sad on 2 points. Now, guys, I don't want you to leave hate in the comments if you disagree with my opinions on this. Leave your response as to why you think a team will do certain things, and we can have a talk about it. That's why I make these videos, to discuss things with people about their teams. And even if it's not your team, if you think, for example, I don't know, if you think that Ecuador will go through instead of Switzerland, let's talk about that. If you think that Spain will be top and Netherlands will be second, I imagine that's a popular one. We can talk about that. And if you think England will go through, we can talk about that. But in the end, just leave your comment down below. We can have an educated discussion about it. Leave a like if you're looking forward to the World Cup. In the spirit of the World Cup, leave a like, leave a subscribe for more predictions from me. And I've been the German Nerd. I will see you later.